views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Welcome, everybody. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS. You're in store for another fantastic show. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for checking it out. This is Open BXRX. Coming up on today's show, we'll give it to you like this. We'll speak to a representative of a Black political organization that continues to have a major impact on women in the Westchester community and beyond. Then we'll speak to a health and hospitals executive about how his organization is helping their patients get what they need. After that, we'll hear from a comedian who is making history in Harlem. And Bobby C, you know, he always steps into the room. He has the latest in the world of sports. And then finally, we'll check in with an event planner who will promote an important upcoming event. So stay tuned. All of this and more is headed your way. We've got it going on for you. We are wide open. Welcome. Hello, everyone. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee, and you're watching Open. It's that live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. You can stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. Now, leading things off, our first guests are the former Bedford Town Supervisor and Chief Experience Officer of the Multicultural Chamber of the WBWPC. And they're with us today to speak about the Westchester Black Women's Political Caucus and their upcoming Westchester Power Circle event. So please welcome to the show, Mary Ann Carr and Charlene Nixon. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you for having us, Bob.
Thank you. Thank you, Bob, for having us.
You're very welcome. Please tell us about the Westchester Black Women's Political Caucus and tell us what it's all about.
The Westchester Black Women Political Caucus was founded in 1976. And its focus is not just empowering Black women, but empowering, uplifting, and positioning them to obtain political offices.
Yeah. And what is your role in it?
I am a member of the New Rochelle chapter, and I work with the leadership of the entire entity to build programs and execute programs, acquire speaking personalities, anything that's going to add value and create visibility for the caucus.
And Mary Ann?
Similar. I'm a member of the Greenberg White Plains chapter, and I serve in a supportive position, helping to elevate Black women, to bring visibility to potential candidates who could possibly run for office. We certainly know there is a huge underrepresentation of Black women in the political arena and serving in office and being represented at the table. And so it is our goal and our mission is to make sure that more Black women, people of color, are represented. And we have to be intentional about that because it just doesn't happen with us sitting on the sidelines. So this organization really is about positioning and getting them ready to apply themselves and just become fearless leaders.
So on radio and TV, we talk about the circle of love. There's a circle of love, there's a circle of sisters, and there's a power circle. Tell us about that power circle for Westchester.
Well, a power circle is a group of individuals, I'm just paraphrasing, that has influence. Okay, it's a group of, it doesn't matter what industry, there is a power circle. A power circle will inform you and help you sustain. So this is why we were naming, brainstorming for this was like, okay, who is in the room? Because that's where and how you form a power circle. The thought leaders, the policymakers, the business leaders. They make up, different spheres of the Power Circle. So for this platform or this event, it was like, who is in the room? Westchester's Power Circle. So everyone that's in political office or vying to be in political office, they're in the room. So under the president's leadership, Sabomi, we decided, okay, we're not just going to work internally and support and educate and promote and elevate Black women in the chapter to have them ready for political office. Yeah. We are also going to go a step further and bring in the general public so they can hear, see, and experience what these elected officials stand for so they can make an informed decision and be part of the Power Circle.
That's what when you went up to Albany for the Black and Puerto Rican Caucus, so the legislators weekend, a lot of people like to go up there to interact with those elected officials to find out what's on their mind, some of the things that they're doing in the community as far as education, economic development, working with our seniors and, things of that nature. So it's always good to mix and mingle and find out, where people stand. And
exactly. Especially when you meet them in a casual setting. Yeah. In a less rehearsed setting, then you really get a good vibe as to who they are, what they stand for, and if they align with your values.
So you have this event coming up, right? What's the date of the event?
The date of the event is May 15th, from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Westchester Community College, which is in Valhalla, New York.
Oh, okay. All right. You may just stop by. Let me look at this calendar and see what's going on here. Mary Ann, listen, what's the primary goal of this event and how can people at home help you and get more involved?
Well, the goal of this event is to bring all of the community together with the trailblazers that have already, become elected officials, as well as those potential candidates who are looking to become, our representatives in our neighborhoods. And so the goal is to connect us all and make sure that we understand who they are, because, people can put things on paper, everybody looks good on a website, but when you get up close and personal with the person, you get a chance to see who they are, what principles they have, what values do they possess. So the goal is really to get to know these people because, we don't want them to consider our vote just a slam dunk. It needs to be something where we hold them accountable and responsible and make sure that they are being transparent with us. And it's this Power Circle, like Charlene has mentioned, it includes all of us. It's not, we look up to the elected officials and we hold them in such high esteem. And yes, they have really important work to do, but we the people are the power and we put the people there. And so I always think of the power is in the people. Yeah. And it is about making sure the people understand who's vying for that coveted seat to represent them. And when they get that coveted seat, take it seriously. Do not neglect your community. Don't come around, once or twice a year. We want to see you, within the community. Yeah. We want to see what works.
What the people say.
Exactly.
And you mentioned something about getting to know people. You have to look them in the eye. So then you have to go back to that original social media where you're up front, in person, and looking in their eyes and shaking their hands and finding out what's on their minds. That's the original social media.
Yeah, right? That's right. Let me just piggyback on something Mary Ann said. Our demographic is the demographic that really influences who is in office or not, right? Yeah. We are the people that our elected officials come to get them where they want to go. And we want to change that. We want to change that, we're used that way. Okay, so what we want this event is to, two platforms. Who are you and what do you stand for? Who we are and what our needs are. And then we marry those two. Because until we align, our values align with someone who can create the opportunities to execute those needs, those wants and needs, then we're just going, in a circle of nothing getting done and nothing being completed, and our demographic being used.
To be outside of the power circle.
Yes, yes.
Completely different circle.
Correct.
But thank you guys for all that you're doing. Are you guys thinking about maybe running for something down the line in the future? Because you'll have the package. You'll know what it's all about.
I have no intention. I never even thought I would be on this journey that I'm on, but I'm just going where the universe takes me. For me, my platform is education. I want to educate our diverse population on how to achieve success so they can create wealth and generational wealth. And that's what my organization's platform is. It's really about creating bite-sized digestible pieces, and actionable pieces so that our demographic can build sustainable businesses.
Let go, let God.
That's right.
Mary Ann?
I will never say never. Certainly I've had
I know you're quiet when I asked the question in the beginning.
Yes.
Sometimes
I never say never. I certainly don't. I don't like to run for the sake of just running. I like to make sure there is a valid reason for running and that there is a support in place for running. I've run a few races, and as I look at it, I certainly made sure that when I left my community, the town board government, I left it better than I found it. I put two more people on the town board, first Latino male, gay male, and also an African-American woman. So I serve wherever there is a need. I don't need to be front and center, but I am very happy being a support and working behind the scenes. And if there's an opportunity where someone else needs to step up or I need to step up, I wouldn't hesitate.
There you go. Thank you guys so much. Listen, where can we go for more information on all the stuff that the wonderful things that you guys are doing in our community in education? You
can go to our website, which is wbwpc.org. So that will be www.wbwpc.org. And to RSVP for this event, wbwpcwestchester@gmail.com. And the event is $25 per attendee. And if there is a corporation or an entity out there that would like to support us, we do have sponsorship packages available. So everything's on that website, right? Everything is on the website and the flyer, yes. Well, thank you guys so much. They're going to give me a hard wrap right here. Charlene A. Nixon, Chief Experience Officer of the Westchester Multicultural Chamber, and Mary Ann Carr, former Bedford Town Supervisor. We love you guys, and thank you for all the work that you're doing in our community. We appreciate it. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
We appreciate the time that you've given us this morning.
You're welcome. You're always welcome to come back, too. We're going to take a break right here. More Open coming up next. Welcome back, everybody. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS, and you're watching Open. Thank you so much for being with us. Our next guest is he's the CEO of the Harlem Hospital Center, and he's here with us today to speak about his role with the hospital and how it has ensured that patients' needs are met. So please welcome to the show, George Leconte. George, welcome. I know you've worked in the business for some time now, and you were at Elmhurst Hospital, and now you're at Harlem Hospital. Give us a little a view of your travels, so to speak.
Sure, Dr. Bob Lee. Started off my career at Elmhurst Hospital many years ago. Grew there, and recently was appointed CEO of Harlem Hospital, and I'm so pleased to be here. Such a great institution. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Truly appreciate that. Harlem Hospital is a cornerstone in the Harlem community. I can tell you that the folks here are just magnificent. Since I've started here, the one thing I've told everyone is that I've received what we call the Harlem hospitality.
Yeah.
The folks here are so grateful, so wonderful. The only thing I say is that they don't have that Southern accent, otherwise, really wonderful. What we're doing is ensuring that we provide the best care possible for the community here. There are a lot of the folks that are here. This is their hospital. This is their community. This is where they want to come to get their services. And we work very hard to make sure that we provide all the services they need right here at Harlem Hospital. We have a number of different environment and areas that we're trying to grow through our OB service. We're making some leaps and bounds in that in terms of growing our OB service so we can provide proper maternal care for our pregnant women, and also our pediatric service, which is excellent service. We have some really wonderful doctors here to take care of some of our folks. Our surgical services, we're trying to grow it. We're looking at adding a robotic system into our surgical service to be able to do robotic surgeries. It's a hospital that's really growing leaps and bounds, truly.
That's state of the art right there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's one of the things that we definitely want to do, is make sure that our patients here at Harlem receive state of the art care. And we truly want to continue to do that.
What is your primary role right now with the New York City Health and Hospital Center of Harlem? I know you're the CEO, but what do you want the public to know about what's happening at the hospital at this point?
Well, I think the key thing I want the public to know is that this is a great hospital. We provide key care to everyone, and I mean everyone. I don't care who you are, from billionaire to the unemployed, undocumented individual, and we provide that care without exception. It's not who you are. It is, once you walk through our door, you are one of our patients, and we take excellent care of you. We recently received the LGBTQ award just last month. And also, we were known as the 7th most diverse hospital throughout the country. We're number 7 in the whole country. So, this is a hospital I'm very proud of. I'm very proud of the things we do here. I'm very proud of the staff that work in here. I will tell you, they are hardworking individuals. They are committed individuals. They are individuals that really care about the community. They really care about our patients here. So I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be in this position, quite honestly.
Yeah. I recently, well, not recently, but I spoke to one of your retired nurses there. And Harlem Hospital has a lot of history. Of course, it's not too far from where Percy Sutton and the whole crew lived. And when we did Harlem Week, we have a stage out there. And this woman came up to me and says, I'm the one that took care of Martin Luther King when he came to our hospital.
Yeah.
I forgot the woman's name, but every time I see her, she'll remind me of that. I think she's retired. Of course, she's retired from it now. But she's still, that's like one of her things that she's very, very proud of. She took care of.
We have a nice documentary, How Harlem Saved the King.
Yeah, there you go.
Really a great documentary that really sort of details how, really Harlem Hospital saved Martin Luther King. And so it's a fantastic concept.
Excellent, excellent. Anything coming up in the community that we should know about, or in and around the hospital?
Well, the key thing right now is, that as we're getting off the pandemic path, which hopefully will stay within that pathways. We've been trying to get our hospital back in order and have everything back in norm form as best as you can call norm, in today's environment. We're hoping to get the hospital back into an open aspect where, we have this beautiful pavilion that we'd like to share with the community.
Yes.
We've not been able to do that. The pavilion's just amazing, and we have some artwork in there that is just amazing. And what I'm hoping is that as we die down with the Omicron wave, we could actually open the hospital up to a certain limit and have some folks come in and visit our hospital and see the beautiful structure that we have here, see the care that we provide, and also see some of the wonderful artwork that we have here. And we've been working with some of our community folks that has provided some artwork in here to try and open it up and give it, make it possible for the community to be able to share this with.
You also have a wonderful auditorium. Is it on the 5th or 6th floor or something like that?
It's on the second floor.
Second floor, yeah.
Yeah, it's really a beautiful auditorium. Hopefully one day we'll be able to open it back up again. And again, with the COVID outbreak, that's sort of put a hold on it for us. But we're hoping that soon we'll be able to open it up and get some more activities going into the institute. George,
you see that it's opening up a little bit more? You got less patients coming in with COVID. How's it look?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Well, a number of patients are, and again, the COVID situation is not over yet. Let's not fool ourselves. I do encourage people to please get booster shots. The CDC just recommended a second booster for folks 50 over, and also people that are immune compromised. The new wave, the B2 wave that's going through, is certainly a lot more communicable, not as dangerous, not as deadly, but it is certainly a lot more communicable. So one of the things I do say to that is make sure you continue to get your booster shot. I know there's been debates on mask or no mask. We at the hospital, we still say mask, okay?
Mask.
Because we don't know who comes into the hospital. What we have been seeing also is a number of flu cases that we've seen also coming up. So not just COVID, but flu also has been prominent here at the hospital.
So again, mask, it gets rid of
flu. Thank you. It gives you a combination protection for both flu and also the COVID concept. But I do say that we've been seeing less and less of COVID positive patients. Currently today, there's only one COVID positive patient we have in the hospital as of this morning at 9 o'clock. We've been running single digits for quite some time now, at least for the past month or two. We hope to keep it that way.
And well, we keep telling them the 3 Ws: wear that mask, watch your distance, and wash your hands.
Yes.
Act like a doctor. Wash those hands.
As things open up, one of the things I want to do, I want to invite you to the hospital, okay? I want to
love that.
And take a look and show you all the wonderful people that work here and all the great things that they do here.
You got it. And congratulations once again, your new position as CEO. George, we love you. We love all the work that you've been doing over the years, and we appreciate everything that you're doing in our community and at the hospital.
Well, I can't thank you enough. And thank you for all the great work that you do, always. We've known each other for a number of years, and I have nothing but the highest regards for you. So thank you. Dr. Bob Lee, I thank you, sir.
Thank you, George. Hey, George, give us the website. Where can people get more information on the Harlem Hospital?
Where people can get more information is at this website, New York City Health and Hospitals /Harlem.
There you go. George Leconte, CEO, New York City Health and Hospitals, Harlem Hospital. Thank you so much, George.
Thank you, Dr. Bob Lee. Have a great one.
You too. All right, we'll take a break right here. We'll take a good break right here. Coming up next, I've got a whole lot more. Welcome back, everybody. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee, and you're watching Open. And here we go. Our next guest is a comedian. Watch out. He's the owner of the Comedy in Harlem Comedy Club, and he's here to speak about how his career started and how to highlight why the club is so important for the Harlem community. So please welcome to the show, Jamie Roberts. Jamie, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Bob.
That's a laugh track. Jamie, you've been doing comedy for some time. Tell us about your career. Tell us how it all got started.
Well, I started comedy 20 years ago. This is my 20th anniversary doing comedy, and I got started because my brother dared me to do it. We were at a comedy club one day, and the guy was horrible on stage, and I said, I can do that, and he said, I dare you to do it. So 2 weeks later, we went home, wrote a routine. 2 weeks later, came back and performed.
At the same place?
No, at a different place, not the same place, at a different place at Stand Up New York. And
well, that's a good motivation. Somebody bombs out on stage and say, well, wait a minute, I can do better than that.
Right. A lot of people believe that, though. Right?
Yeah.
Until you actually do it. And then you see how hard it actually is,
Yeah.
So, but it was great. It was great. And when I hit the stage, it gave me like a rush,
Yeah.
And I've been using it ever since.
You were frightened for that first couple of seconds.
Yeah, I still am. I still am.
Yeah.
It depends on the audience, depends on the place. You still get a little stage fright. But if you're not nervous anymore, then you don't love it anymore. It should still wreck your nerves just a little bit. Not enough that you're going to forget your routine, but just enough to keep you sharp.
I think it helps with it. Helps put things together,
Yeah, of
They're
course.
calling for you right now. And they're coming to the comedy club. There we go. So how did you get started now? You did that, and then what happened after that?
I started
You went to
working
the next club. You wrote your work. You put it down put the pen to the paper. You went in there and said, wait a
right.
minute. You got your rush.
Right, got the rush. Started working out with different comedians. Started writing with different comedians. A comedian named Talent, he brought me underneath his wing. Yeah, and started working with him on his shows, after works and stuff like that. He was on the radio station back then, so he used to have an after work show that I used to frequent a lot. People like a Kenny Williams, Drew Frazier. These are like the New York comedy vets, and they all helped me out from one way to the other to actually learn how to produce shows, how to host shows, just the game itself.
Yeah. Who did you look up? Talent was a good person to look up to. Who are some of the things that some of the other people that inspired you?
Well, of course, growing up watching television was Bill Cosby. The Richard Pryor albums that I wasn't supposed to be listening to.
What?
Back there. Wait a minute. Right. I got an album too. You can't pronounce the album cover though on television. Right, but with that, Eddie Murphy, and then when the creation of Def Comedy Jam hit, and I saw Martin Lawrence, I said, man, this is incredible. This is something I want to be a part of. Yeah. And been hooked ever since.
Yeah. Any TV work that you've gotten involved in?
Well, I've done stuff on Power, but not as far as comedy is concerned. Like I'm still waiting on my late night debut for comedy, late night, stand-up comedy. But I've done stuff like me and my wife had our own reality show, Bustin' the Love on FYI Network. TV comes and goes, but it's the love of the stage that keeps me going.
Now, what's a ladies' night comedy show?
Oh, you want to bring out the ladies' night? All right. Well, that's a monthly show that my wife hosts down at Comedy in Harlem. It features the top women comedian here in New York. She hosts it. It's always a sellout crowd. It's always an electric crowd. It's usually sponsored by a wine or something like that women can come out and enjoy themselves.
I like that.
Yeah, it's highly anticipated. I mean, like highly anticipated.
Only?
Excuse me?
Women only?
No, well, women performing only, yes. But the crowd, the first crowd was women only, and then the fellas found out there was a bunch of women going to the comedy club.
But the women follow.
Right, exactly. So it's starting to even out a little bit, but for the majority of the most part, it is most women.
Women, you got food, you got drinks.
Food, drinks. It's just a great night out. It's just a great night out. Mature night out, mature crowd, and it's what Harlem needs. You know, we're the only Black-owned comedy club in New York City, and I believe, you know, now is the time for it.
Hey, save a table for our crew. We'll come down and check it out.
Will do. Let me know what day you want to come. We got you. The next show is April 30th. It's a Saturday. I know you're a busy man, brother, man. I know. Look at going through the Rolodex now.
I'm like, yeah. Ooh, the Rolodex.
Yeah, you're going through the Rolodex. You remember that?
I had an old one there for a long time, but it's I have the old records here, but on that side are the records, but on this side, the computers. So all of that music is in the computers. Right. So we go out and DJ and carry on. Maybe we can bring the set down there and DJ in between everything.
Right. It's nothing like the sound of vinyl, man. There's nothing like the pure sound of vinyl. There's nothing like that.
So you're doing all that, and how important is it for you to give back or give Black women, and give Black women opportunities to show off their talents at your comedy club?
It's very important. It's very important. The fact that, you know, we're the only Black comedy club in New York, it allows our people, Black people, to come and work out on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So when you're in the mainstream rooms, there's usually what they call a Black night, quote unquote Black night. So we're only there that specific night. So to get in front of a real audience for our people, you know, we're doing that 5 nights a week, you know, every night except for Wednesday and Sunday. But now we're adding shows on Sunday as well. So hopefully 6 nights a week consistently. But it gives them the opportunity to get up there and talk. Because, you know, Black women, they got stuff on their mind. They're funny as well.
Yeah.
They need the opportunity to shine just like anybody else.
Is there one woman that stands out in your mind that makes you laugh?
Yeah, my wife. What are you trying to do? You trying to get me in trouble? That was a trick question. Who put that in there? She said that to you before that, right? She said that to you. I'm trying to rest easy at night, Bob. What's wrong with you, man? I'm trying to get some good night rest. You trying to set me up before the summer hit. Come on, man.
You knew what to say.
Exactly. Right on cue.
You know what? Let's go to the video and check out some of your work.
Not that old, kind of like Shadow Nightclub old. That's what it looks like. It's a little Shadow Nightclub-ish up in here. Yes, I did. You know about the Shadow Nightclub, right? You gotta be 85 years old to get in the Shadow Nightclub, right? You're 88, they're like, go home, young boy, you too young. What you doing in here? Everybody in the Shadow Nightclub dressed like Steve Harvey, right? They're going 3-piece suit and tails. You got tails on that suit? And a cover bun? Are you serious? Every Saturday's Easter Sunday up in, are you serious?
So talk about some of what we just saw.
Well, the video right there, that was shot in Brooklyn, New York. That's where I was born. And it was for Brick TV, which was, you know, a great platform for me to actually perform on. And the video itself talked about, actually before I got married, about me dating older women, the dating scene.
Wait, dating all the women?
Older women.
Older women.
Yeah, not all the women. Come on now. Now you're really trying to get me caught up, Bob. Older women.
Before you got married.
Right. I wasn't a player like that. But yeah, I was, you know, dating the dating scene and having to go on dates with older women, you know, their expectations of a younger man.
Yeah.
And just where you find dates at. Like I have the joke talks about the Shadow Nightclub, you know, how we used to go down to Shadow Nightclub.
That's where I should do the live broadcast.
Right, exactly. You know, so that, you know, those kinds of things. And it's just real life situations, you know, that's the best part of comedy because, you know, people can relate to you when you talk about real life things.
That's good, man. I love laughing. I love to just watch people perform and present their talents on stage and sit out there, eat some chicken wings and with a nice little glass of wine or a beer. What?
There you go.
Eat that, man. So what's the address to the club?
It's 508 East 117th Street in Harlem. It's right below Pleasant Avenue over there by the Costco and the Target, right across the street from Applebee's. 508. Yeah, 508 East 117th Street. And for all the information, you can go to comedyinharlem.com.
Yeah, there you go. I like that. So anything coming up next that we should pay attention to or watch out for?
With Comedy in Harlem? Yeah, well, actually, we're in production right now to bring a late night television show.
Whoa.
So we're going to be
And we're the
featuring,
first to know, right?
right, featuring the up and coming comedians based in New York City at the only Black owned comedy club. So it's live from Comedy in Harlem.
And you're going to be hosting it? Or you're
Of
gonna
course, hosted by Jamie Roberts.
There you go. Jamie Roberts. Hey, tell Talent and everybody I said hello and give them a big virtual hug for them.
Will do, brother, man. Thank you for the opportunity. I love you.
Oh, you're always welcome. And come on, we're going to show some more of your work later on. But come on again. Next time you come, bring your wife, and we can do like a tag team, back and forth. Boom, bam, bam.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Because I know you guys are funny, and we're going to come down and check you guys out and support it. Support everything that you're doing. Thank you, man.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate it.
Now, before we go, do you have a website that we can go into to see some more of your work?
My personal website is jamieroberts.com. And for the club, it's comedyinharlem.com.
There you go. Jamie Roberts, actor, comedian, Comedy in Harlem. He has the club. We're going down there, eat up all his stuff and drink up all the stuff and laugh out loud. That's what we're going to do. Jamie, thank you.
Thank you, brother, man. Peace.
That was a joke. How do you laugh at the people who can't tell a joke?
Right.
We'll take a break right here. Bobby C, he's going to come up. No joke, though. This boy got it going on. Bobby C with the latest in the world of sports next.
We built a media network for you.
BronxNet TV.
Come learn in your new state-of-the-art studios at Lehman College.
At Mercy College.
And coming soon to the South Bronx in the Hub.
Inspire with your stories, culture, history.
Your Bronx on BronxNet.
Engage with us.
Connect with us at your channels and at bronxnet.tv.
Learn, engage, inspire. BronxNet TV.
From the Bronx
to the world.
BronxNet.
Joining us this morning is 1992 Super Bowl Most Valuable Player, Mark Rippon. Mark, how's it going? I heard you're playing some golf in Texas these days.
Bobby, I'm not a big wind player. Texas has some wind. There's not a lot of land here that'll keep that breeze coming through here. It blew about 20, 25 mile an hour yesterday, and I was good enough to get sneak a 76 out there and put me in the top 5 or 6 in our celeb group. To rub shoulders with these guys, do it in an environment like this, raise some money for the Momentous Institute here in Dallas, Texas, and the first tee of Dallas and Fort Worth. And it's awesome. And this country club, Las Colinas Country Club, can come up and bite you. Great golf course, a lot of great people here in Dallas. I wouldn't say this is friendly territories for me, playing the Cowboys, but it's been a fun few days already. So.
You've always been one of the best entertainers / athletes that plays the game of golf. I mean, you end up winning in Lake Tahoe a couple of times. How would you rate your game these days?
Well, I have to walk, and I'm about 2 months away from getting my knee replaced. So it's a struggle to get around the golf course, but I still really am just infatuated by the game. I think through COVID, one of the things I think that's kept people sanity was golf and being able to be outdoors, and try to do some things that we enjoy doing. So golf's one of the things that has been great for me. Not only has it opened doors for raise money for my charitable organizations that I started and many of the other charitable organizations, the PGA Tour, LPGA, and the Champions Tour do a wonderful job raising a lot of money. So golf has been that industry for that. And I think through COVID, I think it's just kind of had a resurgence. So I love the game. I'm not I ain't as good as what's the old Toby Keith song? I ain't as good as I once was, Bobby and Chris, but I'm as good as I ever was. So if I can get it together and play well the next 2 days, today and then tomorrow on Sunday against this cast of celebrities, I'll be up there in the top, hopefully 10, and there's some good players. John Smoltz a great player, Mark Mulder and Marty Fisher, great players, and so it's a good cast of celebrities. Along with, Larry the Cable. I was just talking to Larry coming off the golf course. He was super jacked. He shot a 42 and he got 19 points. And you know, so for him, that's great. And this is not an easy course. So I was happy. I'm going to be playing in Larry's charitable event in Lincoln, Nebraska, the 1st of June. So it was good to see him and all the players, you know, and more importantly, these things are only as good as the volunteers and the people that have come out here to watch us play golf and let us go behind the ropes and live a dream, you know, of being competitive again in something different, the sport or entertainment world that we played in is so cool.
And you've been open, Mark, about dealing with mental illness over the years, depression, and golf has actually been therapy for you, playing, you know, roughly usually 4 to 5 times a week.
Absolutely. You know, and I talk across the globe to some of my peers, you know, Lawrence Taylor, one of the things that saved his life, you know, was golf. And I just think it just gives you an opportunity to get away from the rigors of life and be with a group of people that you want to be with anyway. And you want to set some guidelines and work on some of the things that, you know, not only in your golf game, but in your own personal life. So, yeah, I appreciate that, Bobby, that it's that and then other modalities that we all use to try to make sure that our lives going on. And I'm in my golden years now, they say, I guess, you know, and be 60 this coming October, and amazing how fast that went, you know, and our Commanders still haven't got to the Super Bowl since the last time we were there. So hopefully we can get that thing turned around. Not a big fan of the name, but you know, it is what it is, I guess.
Well, we know how difficult it is to get to a Super Bowl here in New York. The Giants and Jets haven't done much lately either, Mark.
Well, I understand that. I'm, you know, big Giants fan, big Jets fan. I've over the years, I'm going to see one of the great Jets all time, Joe Namath in the Alabama. My daughter went to school at Alabama. I'm leaving here, Dallas-Fort Worth Sunday night and flying into Tuscaloosa to play in their athletic department golf tournament. I'll get to see Coach Saban and Joe Willie. And of course, you know, that was the last time they had any glory when it came to Super Bowls too. So.
You know, Mark, since we have you here as well, I thought it was interesting to kind of stay on that topic because as a local sportscaster, we deal with so many of the topics in the communities that are kind of, you know, issues for the people here in the Bronx and here in New York. And I think depression has been something that has basically risen during this time during COVID and the pandemic because anxiety and the challenges of really working from home and dealing with all of these changes. I was just curious if you could speak a little bit more about how that has affected you. And I know that at one point you even tried to commit suicide. Yeah, I mean, you know, suicide ideology is it runs rampant in our military, and our military is you know, the guys that Chad Pfeiffer and Andrew Batchelder are playing in this golf tournament are my heroes. You know, I mean, we got to do what we do in this world because of our servicemen and women, and to know that 23 of them take their lives every day. It's hard to fathom, and to know that I was in a bad place and thought of that. You know, I mean, the one wonderful thing about life and the modalities and things that you have now is I have grandkids, you know, and I have they kind of, you know, bring things into perspective, you know, and it doesn't mean that you're ever in the clear. You got to be able to utilize some of the other modalities. I've done transcranial magnetic stimulation, which is TMS treatment. Our military use it. Most are VA hospitals. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy chambers are another one that's you know, you use to try to, you know, get yourself balanced. And the one thing that happens, you know, especially in a pandemic, is the mental health. You know, I mean, our mental health and depression has been it's going to be out the roof. I mean, we're not through it yet, and it's just going to be insurmountable in the years ahead. And I think if we can get on top of it, and we also understand that it takes money, and the first thing that usually happens is that we cut mental health costs and mental health providers, and we need our mental health providers there for our fellow man and woman to make sure that we get through the pandemic and help each and every one of the people that need help. And the other thing is too is that there is help out there. Coming out and being vocal and you know, sharing my story, it has helped others. And if it just helps one person, I feel and truly believe, Bobby, that's what we can do, and that's what I want to do. And that's I've had too many people in my life that was close to me, and one being my young cousin who played for the Vancouver Canucks and the Winnipeg Jets, Rip Rippon, take his life, and along with Wade Belak and
and and they're in Bugard, and in the NHL and all across the globe. I mean, we have people that need our help. So I think it is a time that I appreciate you bringing it up, and that we can help those that really do need the help. Thank you.
I appreciate you speaking about it, Mark. And I mean, I know everybody, of course, even myself, remembers you for the Super Bowls and all the great games, but you've had definitely your fair share of highs and lows. And I can't even imagine what it must have been like for you to have to deal with burying your 3-year-old son after losing him to a brain cancer. And also at that time, your wife dealing with cancer as well. Is that some of the things that happened at that time that may have contributed to the depression and things that were going on?
That, and once they turn the lights off too, once your days are numbered and people aren't patting you on the back, it's it's not like a pity party or anything, but you don't know what to do with your life. There's no book there that says, well, here's what you got to do. I mean, you definitely want to get yourself involved around some business people that have some common sense and that'll help you. But other than that, it's like, all right, it's over with. People are all excited when you're playing. Now you're not playing, and you lose a child, and your wife, at the time, my wife at the time was going through her treatments. Just things spiral, in a hurry. And the good news is it wasn't like I medicated myself. I just used did other things, was part of other things that I really don't want to get into, other than you need to get on top of those in order to find out that your life has to be worth something, because if not, it's going to get to a point where you're not going to be here anymore either. And we don't want that. We want to make sure that we do have the right tools in place. But yeah, that's not fair. I mean, that's not the way the world was meant to be. You're not supposed to put your child in the ground before yourself. But the good thing about Andrew, he's not suffering anymore. And the other wonderful thing is we honored him and started a foundation that helped families and children in Andrew's name. And so good can come out of a lot of other things too. And that's hopefully what the trend that we like to start doing. So
that was part one of our interview with 1992 Super Bowl MVP Mark Rippon. Tune in next Monday for part 2.
When taking public transportation, don't touch your phone. Carry hand sanitizer and use it immediately upon leaving the bus or train. Avoid touching your face. If someone is coughing or sneezing, move away. Wash your hands with soap and water as soon as possible. Limit contact with poles. If possible, avoid rush hour. Don't eat or drink on public transportation. Keep your bag off the floor or other surfaces. Avoid directly touching turnstiles. Stay up to date with the latest from your local health department and CDC.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dr. Bob Lee. Fantastic show. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking it all out. We've got it going on for you. Our last guest is an event planner, of course, and a founder of All Access Community Development Corporation. He joins us to speak about the various initiatives that he's involved in and to promote his upcoming Juneteenth event. So please welcome to the show. I've known him for a long time. He's no stranger to the show. Randy G Music, Randy Glover, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a big round of applause. Randy, how are you, man?
Hey, good afternoon, Bob. I'm well. How are you, sir?
Good. So you're always doing some wonderful things in the community. We could take it all the way back. Throw your foot out and slide it back, that Motown slide back on that foot. And we go back to WBLS and LaBar back on 57 back in the day.
Man, I mean, those were some fantastic times that we had at LaBar Bat. We did something that hasn't been duplicated since, which was bring the top talent, top R&B talent to New York City and allow people to touch them, whether it was Brian McKnight, whether it was anyone who was super popular. You could party with them. And then we had some comedy. We had the after party. And BLS and you in the mix. I mean, it was in Midtown at LaBar Bat, and I still run into people who say,
we're going to revisit that. We're going to revisit it, maybe a big reunion. But tell us, what are you into now? Because you're always doing some great things, especially out there in Bergen County.
Yeah, I'm a Bergen County resident. So what we've been doing specifically as it as you know, we talk about COVID and the effects it's had on our community, we basically pivoted to doing social services. And so what that means for us is dealing with isolation, food insecurity, and things like that. So with my All Access Community Development Corporation, we were feeding or servicing 3,000 meals a week, which was 1,500 meals on a Tuesday, 1,500 meals on a Thursday. We're also doing on-site registration for LIHEAP and for SNAP. And for those who don't know what SNAP is, that's food stamps. So instead of going to your county building or social services department, you were able to, and still are able to, come to our location in New Jersey and sign up for all of these services. We have a reduction. Our grant ran out for the 3,000 meals. So I'm purchasing 250 meals every week for seniors from Paula's in Bergen County in Hackensack. And then I'm here specifically to talk about Juneteenth this year, June 19th, where we're taking a stance that it's about passing that ceremonial torch. The older civil rights leaders, community activists, teachers, and things like that, I would like for them to take an emeritus role and pass the torch on to younger people, such as yourself and others who are active in the community now, that kids can see and they know who they are and know that these are the leaders to move us forward. I think that's one of the things that's hindered us as a people from moving forward. We're fighting the same fight that our fathers and grandfathers fought over 40 or 50 years, and there's no reason for that. And part of that is because no one's passing the torch. Everybody's reliving their glory days, and you know, they're not saying, "Hey, Dr. Bob, I know you're in the community. You have, you know, people know who you are. I want to help you with your initiative." You know, and that's what has to be done. You have all of these powerful Black people, but we're not like other cultures where we extend the hand and say, "Listen, I did this. I set it up. Now it's time for you to come in and take it to the next step."
Yeah, the abbreviated edition of Juneteenth is that during the Emancipation Proclamation, it didn't get to Galveston, Texas until about a year later. So
yeah, 2 years. Yeah, 2 years later.
But they were still doing their thing out there in Galveston, Texas. So they celebrate. The information got there, June 19th,
yeah,
in the 1800s, and they decided to, pick this day, June 19th, to celebrate every year.
Exactly. And see, here on the Eastern Seaboard, we don't celebrate it. Like, you know, I fly out to Houston every 3 weeks to see my grandkids, and that's a big thing out there. But here, it really doesn't have much of a meaning. So that's why I'm trying to change it up a bit and make it relevant to the students as well as older, participants, and say, the lack of information that they had back then, we still have a lack of information right now, but that lack of information we're causing in our own community.
How important is it for you and our community to continue celebrating Juneteenth?
Very important for our community to grasp on the Juneteenth. The thing that I don't want to see happen is that it's commercialized where it's a shopping day. This year, Juneteenth, June 19th is Father's Day this year. And then the next day is the holiday that the federal government is celebrating as Juneteenth. I don't want to see a Juneteenth sale at Macy's, just like I don't want to see a Martin Luther King Day sale. We have to watch out for that part of commercialization and stick to what these things actually mean for us as a community. And the only way to do that is to educate the young and old as to what these events in history actually mean to us. and how we have to go further. And also the Amistad Project. You know, hardly anyone speaks about that. That's one of the issues that we want to include in the Juneteenth celebration is Amistad.
There you go. So where and when is this going to happen, this Juneteenth event? It's going to be in Bergen County, but it's going to be at the area where you normally do a lot of that that work that you do? With that
correct. Yeah, the amphitheater over there. So it's going to be at over Peck County Park in Bergen County, 199 Challenger Road on June 19th. And Bob has hosted many events there for me.
Yes.
It's a beautiful, beautiful location. You can go horseback riding, you can go canoeing, and this is all the scenery that's there while the concert is going on. We usually do a Bergen County Music Festival concert that Bob has hosted many times.
So you're going to be the bandshell area. People bring out their own seats.
Yep, that's right. You bring out your beach chairs and
watch the show.
Exactly.
So, briefly, who are some of the people that are performing there?
I haven't nailed down the performers yet, because it has to be a little different. It can't be like, the classic soul stuff that we've been doing.
Yeah.
I want
a lot of entertainers there, elected officials.
Yeah, elected officials. Dr. Jeffries, Reverend Daltrey. A lot of the usual suspects as far as the consciousness and social movement area, and is important. And these are some of the gentlemen that need to, that are going to assist in passing the torch. And then also letting people see how wide our diaspora is, like having, representatives from the Black Jewish community, the Baptist community, Catholic community, Muslim community.
Is this posted up on your website? They're going to wrap it real quick.
It's not posted yet. It will be within the next week.
What's the website?
The website is www.allaccess-cdc.com.
Randy Glover, Juneteenth event, a big one. Randy Glover, All Access Community Development Corporation, LLC. All right, go ahead, Randy.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you so much.
Hey, Randy, thank you so much for joining us, and you're always welcome to come back. All right, that about does it for us here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for checking it all out. And thank you for letting us share in this space and time with you. And always remember this: what you are is God's gift to you, and what you make of yourself is your gift to God. So choose your choice. Let your choice control the chooser. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee. For all of us here at BronxNet, have a great and enjoyable day. And I'll see you over 107.5 WBLS. Love you all. Peace.